we've decided to invite Manu to come and speak briefly, to give some remarks on the role of young people organizing to increase dialogue, particularly on college campuses. Manu is the co-founder of Bridge USA and actually joined the National Conference on Citizenship 6 years ago to talk about the work he began in 2017 to build the largest student movement to bridge differences and change how we talk about politics. Please join me in welcoming Manu.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? I'll tell you what Cameron was doing for the last 30 minutes, which was we were both praying to the God of Ronald Reagan to make sure that I landed in on time. I'm thankful to be here. I'm so grateful for the conference, the conversation that's been hosted. I'm grateful to Cameron and the team. I was just talking to Louis about the panel that's happening next, and he said it's about disasters. I said, well, how broadly are we trying to define disasters here? And, you know, as Cameron mentioned, I help lead the largest student-led organization in the country called Bridge USA, where we empower young people to host and have difficult conversations. We work very closely with amazing organizations like Braver Angels, and the last 6-7 days have been really trying and interesting and challenging in a lot of different ways. I don't need to be the first one to talk about what happened last Wednesday, but I will say that oftentimes I think in conversations and conferences like this, we have a difficulty in hitting some of the and touching the elephants in the room, And there's one specific thing that I want to talk about, which is I think a failure and an opportunity in our space. So as Cameron mentioned, 2017. I don't know if Sterling Spearin is here, but I was a college freshman. I was a pre-med student. I had no interest in politics or democracy. My mom is still confused. She doesn't know exactly what I'm doing with myself. She said, "You should have been a doctor." I was like, honestly, that sounds easier right now. And so, I showed up to NCOC 2017, and Sterling gave me an opportunity to speak about bridge building and dialogue. And at that time, we had someone come up to me afterwards, and they said, "What's the point? What's the point of long-term investments in civic infrastructure when we have immediate threats?" And I heard that same question in 2018. I heard that same question in 2019. I heard that same question in 2020. I heard that same question in 2021. And I heard that same question last week. What's the point of investing in long-term civic infrastructure when we have immediate threats? Well, here's what I would tell that person right now. How's it going? Imagine if we did make those investments in 2017 and 2018. The fact is that young people in our generation and folks across the country have seen a country that's been riddled with tumult and conflict at a time when it's difficult to understand what the possibility of America looks like. And the one proposition that I would have for you is over the last 7 days, I've been so encouraged and inspired. We had students from San Jose State, University of Missouri, UC Berkeley, UT Austin, University of Alabama, high schools, young people that stood up and said, we are not going to dismiss what happened. We're not going to shy away from what happened. We're not going to be righteously angry. We're going to engage in conversations. And that is something that you don't hear in the mainstream. That is profound. That is powerful. Today, if you're the person advocating for a conversation, a courageous conversation, you're actually the one that is pioneering something different. In 2017, the norm was conversation. Today, the norm is violence. And that means that bridge building, civic infrastructure building, that's the counterculture. And America loves underdogs. That's the counterculture. And you have a unique opportunity right now to make a decision that we either forego the long term for continued short term thinking, which is important. There's a lot of challenges out there. Or we think about what the greatest social change makers of the 20th century understood, from Mahatma Gandhi in 1945 in the Salt Marches to Nelson Mandela in 91, South Africa, to Martin Luther King, civil rights, 1960s. It's that democracy is a puzzle. You got a lot of tools in your toolkit. You got free speech. You even got violence, civil disobedience, constructive dialogue. And the question is, what piece of the puzzle do you choose at this moment? We have to exercise judgment. And this is not about denigrating other modes of conversation, activism, action. It's about understanding what is the right tool for the moment. And the fact is we exist in a logjam where people from different views simply cannot, not even disagree with one another, understand each other. And the tool for the moment that I would propose, the tool that young people across the country are championing right now, I just came from a flight in San Francisco. They are standing up for dialogue and conversation because they know that if America is to write its next 250 years, we need to invest in a culture of pluralism, not for some kumbaya nonsense, but because it is the necessity and the undergirding of how our country moves forward. And so I'm so grateful to welcome the conversation that's about to happen next, but more importantly, I'm thankful to you. And remember, especially if you're someone that has the possibility to move dollars, ask yourself in 2017, where would we be today if we maybe balance that short and long-term thinking just a little bit? Thank you, everybody.